Here we are at the Ferris fire that's burning down in the southwestern corner of Colorado in the San Juan National Forest outside of Cahone and Dove Creek, Colorado. You can see over the last few days that northeastern or northwestern corner, has been really blowing up. It's kind of cool right when I showed up, seeing this helicopter, and I am zooming in on my GoPro, sorry about that, but I can't miss the shot. That was coming in right in front of my screen. He dumps it. I just couldn't pass up that shot even though the quality is kind of bad. It's a 4K image, but I was zooming in I think to 4 times. Here you can see the fire. Using my zoom lens on my Nikon. It's a 300mm, I think. You can see it's not as windy. This was on Wednesday. It wasn't as windy as it had been some of the previous days, but you watch this. You can see that all suddenly the flames start getting brighter and brighter, and then boof, it just blows up. That whole line does. That's just, you don't want to be anywhere near that. That's impressive how quickly all that just goes up like that. There are a couple fire helicopters out there fighting the fire. This one is one of my favorite helicopters out there with that little suction hose hanging underneath it. And you get to see the cockpit out front, just kind of hanging out in front of it. Oh, yeah, it's one of my favorite of the firefighting helicopters. It just looks like that'd be a lot of fun to fly. Smoky and flamey when I was out there watching this. It was hot, dry. Thankfully, didn't have the smoke blowing at me. It's actually kind of. I was watching this fire. I was about 2 miles away from it, no smoke. I drive 200 miles roughly northeast before I ran into any smoke from that fire. This is the other helicopter that was flying around. This is, kind of the more traditional one with the bucket on it. And it was really hard to keep the helicopters in focus and in zoom. You see, I was playing around with my zoom, trying to see how these pictures would turn out. This was I actually first showed up to the fire. I parked here and I was watching it. Saw a bunch of cattle around as I was walking around out in the woods. Seen the cattle and decided, you know what? I don't want to mess with them. They might be more dangerous than the fire. I don't want them to trample me over. Here you can see all the burnt area, kind of behind where the fire is going downhill towards the canyon bottom. I'm still not quite sure what canyon that was burned into, because it wasn't going down into the Dolores River Canyon. There's just my favorite chopper again. I was moving around, so these are footage as they're taken in different spots along the canyon rim, or close to the canyon rim. There you see them jumping it out of the belly. These guys were kind enough to let me take their pictures and pose for me really nicely for the most part. That's not the leading edge of the fire, even though it looks like from these angles. The fire, well, there's actually two fires. There's the Doe Canyon fire and the Ferris fire. And they combined together. The Ferris fire overtook the Doe Canyon fire. One of my later shots, actually, I think, pan far out and show kind of the whole extent of the fire line, or what I could see from this position. I actually really like doing these shots where they're time lapse. You really see the smoke patterns. Back to the helicopters. Gotta do a little better this time. I think I can. Let's see the pilot up there chilling. It's not even leaking a drop. I was just wondering to myself, I wonder how many gallons are in each one of them buckets. Another thing I've heard is that if you get hit by the water from one of them buckets, they have to dump it on you. It can hurt or kill you, I think, even. There's a lot of weight in water that's jumping out of them. There's smoke, there's fire. You keep looking at different spots of smoke, and all of a sudden you start seeing the fire lines jumping out at you. The other thing I've always been curious to look for is see if I see any wildlife trying to get away from it. I always think back to watching Bambi, growing up to Walt Disney. They're escaping the forest fire. I always think about Bambi when I'm watching these forest fires and keep an eye out to see if I ever see any of them running away from it. Like I said before, with the zoom on my camera on the LCD screen, I actually can't even most of the time tell what I'm taking a picture of. I get a kind of a general hint enough to see that I'm pointing and keeping it kind of steady. And then when I get home and I look at the video, at first I go, man, this is all garbage. And then I run the image stabilizer through it and I go, man, I'm actually a fairly decent photographer. If you'd see any of this footage before that image stabilizer goes into effect, it is shaky. It's hard to take. Like, you see that little shake? There's just a wall of smoke behind him. You can kind of see that he's getting close to the opposite. Yeah, there we go, shaking again. This is one of them where it's like I hope that I am picking it up, and it is a little fuzzy, blurry. I don't quite have it focused in, and you can't tell on here because the image stabilizer cut off the bottom of that, but that was a perfect drop right on the fire line. That was a bullseye. I'm sorry, sir, for not doing you justice and catching that one, because that was one of the only good shots I had. So after this, they either went and refueled, or they called it a night, or I called it a day. I had a long drive home. Let me know down in the comments if you appreciate me doing commentary. I know my other videos were silent films, and we moved up into audio. We skipped the black and white and moved straight to a color, at least. I do want to give some words of caution if you're planning on going out chasing wildfires. It's first of all, it's actually boring. Not boring, and it's interesting and fun, but it's gonna spend a lot of time watching smoke most of the time, seeing flames like this where trees go up and whole lines of fire. I actually don't see that very often. Most of the time it's just too far away, or it's burning behind a ridge or a hill down in a canyon, or it's nighttime, or I'm just too afraid to get closer to it. But if you are going out chasing wildfires, be cautious because, first of all, a lot can go wrong. I mean, if you don't know the mountains, you don't know the roads, you can get yourself in trouble really quickly out there. And not only that, but you can put other people in danger too. Because if the firefighters notice somebody's out there, especially if they notice that you're struggling, it's kind of human nature that they're going to come and try to help you. And that might put them in danger, but they may try. And you don't want to be putting them in danger just because you're trying to get a better view of something. If you're going out and trying to take photographs or video of wildfires, most of the time, probably 3 out of every 4 fires I go and try to watch, first of all, I can't get anywhere close to them. And when I can get close to them, most of the time all I see is smoke. So actually getting to a spot where I can view a fire like this, where I'm seeing the flames, seeing the helicopters doing their work, it's actually really rare. And most of the time it's a whole lot of driving to sit alongside the road and look at smoke, which I don't mind doing it 'cause like I said, I kind of like taking them long time lapse and watching the smoke and seeing how the fire progresses through its smoke line. Yeah, like all the fires, this one was smoky too. I've actually been lucky the last couple of fires I've been to. I've been able to stay out of the smoke, pretty much stay smoke free and still view them. Before I go out to look at these fires, I do my due diligence and look at my wind speeds, wind directions, the smoke, where the smoke cloud's going, where the roads are closed. I don't just rush out there with my camera and find some roads and go drive down them. I check and make sure that where I'm going is safe and that I feel safe going down them. There's been times where the road keeps going, and I just get a bad feeling about it, and that's the end of the line for me. I don't try to get too caught up in it where I'm willing to take risks. There's always a risk, and there's like even this fire. I'm 2 miles away from it. There's a canyon between me and it. The fire going down the canyon, most of the time they take a lot longer to burn down than up. But not all the time. Like you're looking at this and you're like, okay, the fire's at the top of the other, rim of the canyon. And what you might not see, because it's too far away, is, a tree falls, logs go rolling down the hill. It starts smoldering at the bottom, and boom, it blows up at the bottom, and now you're at the ridge, on the other side of the canyon, and they can move up ridge quick, especially if the winds are right. And so you may think you're miles away from the fire, and all of a sudden the fire is feet away from you. Then there's also another thing when you're doing photography work. I don't know if any other people doing, using a camera, looking through the lens. You look through that lens for a long time, and all of a sudden you look up and you realize that, whatever you're taking a video of is like right in front of you. I had this a month ago up in a Dinosaur National Park. I was taking pictures of bighorn sheep, 3 big rams. They're out walking through the grasslands towards me through the scrub oaks. I was like, this is cool, getting some good shots. Oh man, they're really getting big. I'm really kept zooming out. I was like, why? I look up and they were 50 feet away from me, all 3 of them walking right towards me, like they're gonna run me right over. And I was like, ooh, that's I ain't sure what that phenomenon is, but I'm sure other photographers have had that too, where you're caught up looking through the lens, playing around with your zoom. So you notice that you're all the way backed out on your zoom, and what you were zoomed into before is now too close for zoom. You look up and it's right in front of your face. That can happen with fires too. Just be safe. I ain't gonna say don't go out there, because obviously I'm going out there and looking at them, and I enjoy doing it. And the other thing is if you're on a road near a fire and you see, firefighting trucks come at you, just get out of their way. You may be like, I'm the uphill traffic, I got the right of way. No, if they're fighting a fire, just give them the right of way. If you see a long convoy of trucks coming at you, pull over in a good spot and let that whole line, go by you. Even if you gotta sit there for 10 minutes and wait for them to pick their way by you, and just don't be on the road, make it them think about you. If you're parked off to the side and they see you ahead waiting for them, they can just concentrate on their driving. They got a dangerous job enough without you interfering in their work. Stay out of their way. Don't be trying to go anywhere that you shouldn't. And yeah, sometimes I do feel bad when they have to come out and tell me that I have to leave an area. Yeah, first of all, I'm kind of upset that they're messing up my view post, telling me I gotta leave. And then I'm also upset at myself that, I put them in a position where they had to send somebody out there to, warn me that the fire is coming at me. And I've even been in positions where they started doing water drops pretty darn close to me. I think they spotted me and thought the fire was too close to me, so they started painting the ridge line right in front of me. I mean, like right in front of me. I show some of them pictures sometime. Yeah, I'll wait until the statutes of limitations have expired so that they can no longer prosecute me or ticket me. No, I don't think they'd do that. The area was open. I did notice when I went back to my car that they had a big sign up and they put a flyer on my car saying that the area was closed now. I don't know if they came out and tried to find me that time. I was way out there. I don't think they did. Well, that's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you think.